I think it's pretty simple with the New Orleans Saints. Defense looks atrocious. They can't stop a nosebleed on the ground. That's just point blank. Let me throw that out there. Offensively, they're looking not the same old. I mean, it doesn't seem like they have that much versatility on offense. Defense looks terrible. They have no backbone in my mind. And they just got run all over. Jamal Charles had a field day against the New Orleans Saints at the Superdome. And again, the Saints are shooting themselves in the foot, turning the football over, making the mistakes that really derail teams, such as penalties, missed assignments. And that's what occurred yesterday, and that's what's been occurring this whole entire season for the New Orleans Saints. So we can point the finger at the head coach, or we could point the finger at the coaching staff. But at the end of the day, it's a whole collective effort, and they haven't been capitalizing. I mean, they haven't been controlling the games whatsoever. They have no effect on the tempo of the game whatsoever. And I think the Saints they're not making the playoffs, and it's going to be a downward spiral. Downward spiral. I think we're going to have to wait till next year until this team recovers back together.
All right, it's time to hit you on a personal note. How about last night's Sunday night game, Ravens, Patriots, last second, the Rook putting in the dagger to beat the Patriots. I need a reaction from you, my friend.
Yeah, that was kind of heartbreaking, but I have to look at this and say, first of all, gotta credit Torrey Smith. Played out of his mind yesterday. He's a great deep threat, but I know there might be people who are atheists, but I think God really pulled Torrey Smith through that one as well.
I mean,
extraordinary effort.
I never heard of this guy, and he starts putting up these stats. It's like it's either God himself is putting it in, or he's getting some kind of magical hand to catch these balls.
Yeah, I thought it was extraordinary last night. Now, for the kick, I did not think that went through. And people can say it went through or didn't, but I would like to see a review, an official booth review at the end of the game when it comes to a field goal. That was way too close of a call to have so much conclusive evidence that ball went through. I don't know if it did. Initially, right when the ref signaled it's good, I don't know how they had the evidence that it was good. To me, I think if the normal officials were in, the regular ones, they wouldn't have enough conclusive evidence, so they leaned towards no good, which I thought the refs were going to do, but they went totally against status quo. It was shocking. And to me, to this day, it still surprises me. I mean, today it surprises me mightily. I can't believe that kick was not ruled no good. And then overall through that entire game, I felt like, and this is just me on a personal note, I felt like the Ravens were instigating skirmishes along with the New England Patriots, but I'll have to say that Baltimore did slightly a little bit more. And I felt like Baltimore was causing a lot of skirmishes, and there weren't any penalties whatsoever against Baltimore or even New England during those fights, which really concerned me because I thought this game could have been a large skirmish and a large brawl that was going to occur. Luckily, it didn't. And these refs, again, and I know I'm criticizing them a lot, and I know it's redundant, but it is really driving me up the wall. Do you think it's driving you up to that point, Jason?
It kind of is, but what do I have to complain about? My hometown Baltimore Ravens won. My Houston Texans are 3-0. I have nothing to complain about. But this game that we just watched was pretty bad. But let me say something about the skirmishes. The skirmishes are no surprise. Whenever you're a visiting team at a team that's top 16 defenses in the NFL at their house, they're going to be instigating fights because they're trying to get you the uncomfortable. The crowd's trying to make you uncomfortable in your own skin. Hey, the Patriots were one of the worst defenses in the league last year. That's why, not at their home field, they're not going to try to start any fights. Now, I agree with you. That field goal was really weird. When Belichick first froze the kicker, it went right through. There was no problem. Next kick, what is this madness of it going wide right and it almost doesn't even make it over the post? So that's a concern for me. That you're not supposed to get that nervous in a situation where you have a straight kick and then you just have it fly off the handles the next kick.
And then can I mention one more point too, really quickly?
Yeah.
I have to say, they're putting a lot of blame on Belichick coming over there. And, people are really putting the blame on Belichick for pulling the ref there. But hey, I'm gonna be honest, and not a lot of people are, they're not really saying this. I may be one of the few people who believe this, even though Phil Nunziata on this channel and Phil Nunziata believes in this, and Nick Rice. But I feel like if I'm Bill Belichick or any team or any coach and I lose the game in that fashion, I'm going to run past the ref and cut him off. I may even tackle the ref, for crying out loud. I am not letting that game go. I'm not letting go until I get confirmation on what occurred on that play. And I hope Belichick doesn't get fined a lot, because I would have done the same thing. Bill Cowher would have done the exact, even though Bill Cowher's a CBS analyst now, Bill Cowher would have done the exact same thing, but no one would usually talk about that. Dennis Green would do that. No one would really talk about that. Jim Harbaugh would do it too if that happened to him too. And people never talk about that. But when Bill Belichick does it, it's magnified to a whole new level. And to me, I'm completely shocked that was the call yesterday. Still can't believe it. And if they don't get these replacement officials gone soon, I think we might see a drop in the ratings. I really do.
That's a good thing. We're gonna wrap up this show, but one last thing. What is the fallout after tonight's game for the refs and for the NFL as a sport?
I think as the sport, even though it's a multi-billion-dollar machine as it is, it's a multi-billion-dollar enterprise. I think it's going to have a hit, but decreasing in viewers a little bit. But the craziness, the excitement of the games, the anticipation for these games, what's going to happen next week, that's causing the to still stay at a high level. Now, let me tell you this, if they can get the real refs back soon, I think everything will be fine. Everyone will be happy, dandy. Everyone will be, not crying anymore. Players won't be crying anymore. Coaches will be fine. Then we'll get back to reality. But until now, it's going to be a little drop. But for people who aren't necessarily big fans of the game, maybe people who don't really watch football that much, I think we might incorporate those type of fans, because they will want to see what's going to happen next with these refs. Let's see what the former substitute teacher who ref this game did today. Let's go see the ref of the Division II. How well did he do today? I think we're going to get a little bit of that reaction from non-football fans. So that's the only good part about it. But other than that, everything is negative, and it will remain negative until we get the real refs back. And I want to hear what your thoughts are on that.
One thing to do with the sport is going to be a lot more complaining from people who barely know football, blah, 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 refs, blah, blah, blah. I could do better reffing. I've seen better reffing from flag football refs. You're going to hear a lot of that. I honestly do not care that the Packers lost, because the Packers have enjoyed so much success these last 2-3 years that the Seahawks deserved a victory, especially when you can keep the Packers down and you're not having a good team. The Seahawks did have that one playoff win against the Saints back in, was it 2010? But, I mean, I can understand from Green Bay you're angry, but it's just another one of the games. You have about 13 more games to play. You decide how you want to feel about this. You decide where you're at. Now, as a sport, replacing refs, if the only way we're getting our old refs back is if there's going to be a negotiation, or if the refs are just like, this is too ugly to watch, let me get in there, let me do the work. But besides that, there's nothing left to say.
Look, I agree, and I know fans are critical, and I honestly don't like it when people talk about players, coaches, refs, or anyone associated with any professional sports league, and they say, hey, I can do better than that. Or when people say to LeBron James, oh, I can hit that clutch shot, or I can hit that free throw, or whenever they used to tell Shaq, oh, I can hit that free throw. Well, you go try doing it in that type of environment. Or when people say, oh, Tom Brady's overrated, or X player is this, or Y player is this, but then whenever they go play in their backyard, they throw a wounded duck to the wall. So, I mean, people need to, you're right, the criticism needs to, stop a little bit for people who are overcritical, and I feel like I'm a little bit overcritical when it comes to this. But I've been watching this game for such a long time, and I've never really seen the game come to this point, and it needs to come to a resolution. And if this game can't come to a resolution this year, I think it'll take a huge decline. Now, I will watch the game. Maybe I know you like the NFL a lot.
Yeah.
You'll watch the game probably. But I'm saying to keep it from a reality perspective, I don't think the whole general public will watch the game and consume the game as much as they used to, if that occurs.
All right, yeah. So a lot of good opinions tonight, a lot of controversy, but I have to get to bed. I have school tomorrow, and I'm pretty sure you have school tomorrow as well, Cameron.
Yeah.
So thank you all for joining on this Jason Sports Show News Flash. Thank you for your opinions, Cameron.
Thank you very much, and quick show, got it done, and crazy. I had no idea. By the way, let me just say this real quick. I thought the Seahawks were going to lose by 3 touchdowns. That was just my opinion, and I think I've never seen that wild of a game before. Live.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was crazy, and I really appreciate for you having me on.
Yeah. All right. Thank you, everyone, for listening, and that has been Jason Sports Show News Flash Edition. And that's good night.